Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. Senator Moran, who is the chair of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, and Reverend Warnock introduced legislation to protect some very important benefits. I wanted to jump into this. Please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. Every thumbs up and every minute watched helps to share this information with others and creates awareness. Now, look, it says here that this has been introduced legislation. Legislation will move nowhere if we as a constituency don't push on our elected officials to also support it. So, if you believe in this legislation, reach out to your congressional members, both on the House and the Senate side, and let them know that you support this legislation and you hope that they do as well. Now, I will find the name of it here. It is the Love Lives On Act of 2025. Love Lives On Act of 2025. And let's go ahead and dive into it. So the headline here is Senator Moran, Reverend Warnock introduced legislation to protect surviving spouses' military benefits. This just came out Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. I am sharing it with you here today. All right. Today, U.S. Senator Jerry Moran, chairman of the U.S. Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs, and Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock introduced legislation to allow surviving spouses of fallen service members to retain certain survivor benefits if they remarry. All right, under current law, there are some stipulations with regard to remarrying, and if you do it too early, you lose your benefit. All right, moving on. Under current law, most benefits from the Department of Defense and the Department of Veterans Affairs are terminated for surviving spouses who remarry before age 55. The Love Lives On Act of 2025 would allow surviving spouses to retain these benefits upon remarriage regardless of age. A quotation here, no survivor should have to choose between getting married again or keeping the benefits they need to support their family following the loss of their service member or veteran spouse, said Senator Moran. Military service is a family service, and by making certain that surviving spouses can heal from their loss without fear of losing their benefits, the Love Lives On Act helps recognize the great debt our nation owes to Gold Star families. For those that can hear, that's Stan. He's my rooster, and he loves to chime in, and it is what it is. One day he won't. All right. The men and women in our military serve our country courageously, and their spouses serve our country too. If one of our heroes loses their life in the line of duty, we should honor our service members' sacrifice by ensuring their spouse can retain survivor benefits if they choose to remarry, said Senator Reverend Warnock. As long as I have the honor to represent Georgia military families in the Senate, I will fight for them as hard as they have fought for our freedoms. I am proud to continue leading this bipartisan effort to fulfill our promise to these patriots. The Love Lives On Act is co-sponsored by Senators Tom Cotton, Catherine Cortez Masto, Lisa, Murkowski, there we go, Martin Henrich, John Cornyn, John Fetterman, the list goes on. Mike Rounds, Mazie Hirano, Ted Cruz, John Hickenlooper, Sheldon Whitehouse, Jackie Rosen, Elizabeth Warren, Maggie Hassan, Alex Padilla, Brian Schultz, Angus King, Bernie Sanders, Chris Van Hollen, Chris Coons, Jeannie Shaheen, and Amy Klobuchar. All right. So there's a couple quotations here, and I kind of like to do these because it gives us a little more of a perspective. It goes on here, it's a quotation. It says, TAPS is grateful to Senators Moran and Warnock and our 22 Senate original co-sponsors, as well as Representatives Hudson, Morrison, Van Orden, Nagais, I'm not sure how you say it, and Khanna for their leadership in reintroducing the comprehensive remarriage legislation, the Love Lives On Act of 2025, said Bonnie Carroll, president and founder of TAPS, which is Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, TAPS. Their leadership in the last Congress led to the passage of many of the provisions of the Love Lives On Act of 2023. And we look forward to passing the remaining provisions of this important legislation to ensure surviving military spouses retain their benefits upon remarriage at any age. Surviving spouses should not have to choose between finding love again and financial security. Next portion here. Senator Moran authored an amendment in the 2024 National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA, that allows surviving spouses of military service members to maintain their access to commissaries and exchanges on U.S. military bases if they remarry. Additionally, Senator Moran introduced the Senator Elizabeth Dole 21st Century Veterans Healthcare and Benefits Improvement Act, which was signed into law last month and includes provisions supporting surviving spouses, including by allowing them to maintain VA education benefits upon remarriage. Now, look, here's the thing. We have kind of a two process lobbying effort, in my opinion. We have our veteran service organizations such as the American Legion, VFW, DAV, TREA, MOA, the Marine Corps League, the list goes on. And those veteran service organizations will champion legislation in DC, which is great. But how many voters are in DC? Well, those that are in DC, right? So the point is that our power is in our vote as a constituency. So your congressional members, be it House or Senate, need to hear from you, the constituent, that you wish for these things to go into effect. Now, if you believe in this legislation or any legislation, you should absolutely reach out to your congressional member. Now, look, I get it. Different people have different levels of ability and desire, right? Maybe people don't desire to go have a face-to-face, and that's fine. You don't have to set up a face-to-face with your congressional member. You can stop by their office if you'd like. There's usually at least one or multiple in your district, different offices for your congressional member. You can stop by any one of them. There's a staffer in there behind a desk, and you let them know I'm veteran so-and-so or what have you. And just tell them that you support this piece of legislation and that you hope to pass that message on to the congressional member. If you don't want to do that, you can send them a message through their website, essentially an email. You can write them a letter and mail a letter to them if you'd like to do that. You could pick up the phone, call, and speak to somebody and relay the message that way over the telephone. Or maybe you don't want to talk to anybody, and maybe you don't want to write anything. Well, you can leave a message. You can call after hours when you know nobody's going to pick up and leave a message regarding your support. There's many different ways is the point. And when they're hearing from the constituency, I think that there's a little more vibrato that happens. Now, imagine for a moment that it's not just you, right? It's your adult children. It's your spouse. It's you. It's your parents. It's the people you know, right? Next thing you know, there's 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 phone calls, letters, stopping by, different actions, all regarding the same thing. That starts to feel a little bit different. I will tell you that the congressional offices are not overwhelmed with people walking through the door. It's the same 7 people coming with their various concerns. So you should probably be number 8, 9, 10, and 11, if you get what I'm saying. With that, thanks so much for watching. I truly appreciate every single one of you. Have a great one, and remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.